Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to baseball here on youtube.com/SeanOsaurusRex. I'm Sean. 4 games for you today inside MLB 11, the show on the PlayStation 2. King Felix is going to be playing his old team, or current team, the Seattle Mariners, but that is not a game that we are watching today. We have a couple storylines to take a look at. Let's take a quick peek around the league and get an idea of what we are talking about. Royals, Blue Jays. The Blue Jays trail the Royals by 2.5 games. They play 6 of the next 9 to 10 games against each other. So this is the spot where the Blue Jays need to win these series. They need to try and make up as much ground as they possibly can to make this wild card race nice and tight. In the National League West, Padres are playing the Diamondbacks today. Padres need to win 2, or probably actually they probably need to sweep to get to that 28 win mark, while holding the Diamondbacks close to them and knocking them back into a tight race between those two teams. The Padres could also kind of really hurt the Diamondbacks' chances of making the playoffs because they are pretty far back, both of them, in that wild card. But the Rockies, unfortunately for both the Diamondbacks and the Padres, play the Cardinals, who are the worst team in the National League. Though it is kind of close. 19 and 1 extra win, 1 fewer. Okay, technically it's the Giants. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to do that to you. So those are a couple storylines we'll be keeping track of while we jump into some baseball here. Like I said, 4 games, as always. You can see it in the description. We're going to head to Toronto. Royals playing the Blue Jays. We'll probably see this series, especially if it gets interesting, we'll probably see the series a couple of different times, just because it is an actual wild card race. Milwaukee and San Francisco with Detroit up there, 5 saves. Seattle has 4. Saves not the most common thing here in MLB The Show 25. Let's see. Let's get rid of those. Check that Monday night game. Go Texans. Ooh. They're down. Okay. Ugh. Gross. Okay. Kansas City, 28 and 22. Toronto, 25 and 24. If you're rooting for chaos, you were looking for the Toronto Blue Jays to win this series, to win the next series. They could pick up, I guess it's only 2 games because you go 2-1, 2-1. There's series in the middle. I'm curious who both those teams play. I should look at who that is. Austin Jackson is the center fielder. He'll lead things off for the Kansas City Royals. Placido Polanco at third base. Mark Teixeira at first. Jeff Frazier in right. Brian McCann is the catcher. Alexi Ramirez at the shortstop position. Josh Willingham in left. Neil Walker at second. Alex Gonzalez is the designated hitter. Welcome on into baseball here on the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Monday evening. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday for more baseball content. John Garland is 5-2 with a 4.84 ERA, 9 games in 22 with 22.1 innings pitched, 31, 8, and 22. Kind of taking a stab at that last number, but you know how it goes. Oh, we were right on too. That is great. There we go. I love seeing that. I love seeing me be correct. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just feels good to be right. So let's get things underway here in Toronto. There are a couple of repeat teams that we did just see yesterday. I did make sure to avoid the Pirates. And I did make sure to avoid a couple of teams that don't have great records. The White Sox and the Cardinals. Pardon me. All right. Did we see the Blue Jays? Yeah, we saw the Blue Jays play the Cubs yesterday here in Toronto. And then we also are doubling up on the Diamondbacks. But that Diamondbacks Padres series is interesting. It's one of the few interdivision matchups that we're going to have left. It might actually be truly the last one. Series could be big for Seattle, who's been struggling recently. If Toronto can kind of hold the team like Kansas City back, and if Seattle can take care of some business in Minnesota, as that's hit into left field for a leadoff single, that could help things out. I mean, just keeping some of these races kind of tight towards the end. I mean, realistically, Seattle's going to need to just make sure that they're keeping pace with the Blue Jays, I guess, at the moment. They're still in kind of a weak AL West. 6-game hitting streak for Polanco here. 4 home runs, 10 RBI. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's going to be flared up or out to the pitcher's mound. Shortstop waves everybody off, and that is out number 1. So able to get a ball past the first baseman, or third baseman, excuse me, into left field for a single. And then there's kind of nothing going on. That is also nothing going on. Teixeira tries to be a hero. We got a little under that one off the end of the bat and sends it into left field for out number 2. So 2 pitches, 2 swings, 2 outs for these last 2 bats for Kansas City. See if Frazier can do anything, exercise any level of patience. He cannot, but also gets a lucky break with a ball that goes foul up the first base line. 0-1. That is right to the third baseman. Goes the short way to second for out number 3. And that does it. Kansas City gets a leadoff hit and then does absolutely nothing with it. We'll introduce you to the Toronto lineup right after this. Okay, right now. Johnny Damon's in left field. He is leading things off. Andre Ethier is in right field. Miguel Cabrera at first. David Ortiz, the designated hitter. Oh, pardon me. Xavier Nady is in center. Mike Aviles is at third. Derek Jeter, the shortstop. Juan Uribe at second. And Rod Barajas is the catcher. Toronto picked up a 2-1 victory over Chicago just yesterday. Barajas was a key component in that. He gave the Toronto Blue Jays that second insurance run going into the top, in the bottom of the second, going into the top of the third to lead 2-0. Adam Wainwright's 1-6 with a 5.70 ERA, 10 games, 23.2 innings pitched, 40 hits, 8 walks, 21 strikeouts. Those are some ugly numbers. But Barajas had a really nice at-bat, fouled a bunch of pitches off and then drove one. It was 2-0. They gave up 1 in the top of the third to the Cubs, but thankfully they had 2. Let's see what they do here. Obviously that lineup meant that they were going to be looking at a right-handed starting pitcher. And that is what they're doing. They're going to get the strike on the inside. Right on that edge. 0-1. Here comes Wainwright's pitch. And that is low for a ball. That is hit up the first base line. Covered nicely, and an underhand toss to the pitcher covering. Out number 1. Wainwright with a pretty bad record, 1-6. Is Kansas City the team with... Gosh darn it, who has... Yeah, it is. Kansas City has... Crap, we just saw him, and I'm totally blanking on his name. The righty fires that pitch outside for a ball. 1-0. Here comes the wind and the pitch. It's outside. God, we just saw him the other day. He beat the Mariners. Reds Royals on the 29th. That gets the bottom of the zone for a strike. Is it worth pulling up my own footage? He was 7-0. He's 0-3 in his last 3 decisions. That is, oh my goodness, hit to where the second baseman had a shot at it, but second baseman moves towards second base rather than to where the ball was. Funky play as this game continues to fall apart down the stretch. We have just over a month left, I believe 35 days or so in the season, the entire month of June, 4 days in July, and this final day here. So I think 34 days, yeah. And then we will be off to the playoffs. A couple weeks out from more news about MLB The Show 26. Very exciting. That is in for a strike, 0-1. God, the only name I can think of is Adam Wainwright, but that's not who it is. I'll pull up my own footage. It's embarrassing. That's fouled away. Oh, I don't have a lot of battery. We gotta do this quick. Go here, go here. Here comes the line and the pitch. It is... Ooh, they're going to get that strike. That part of the zone was funky throughout a lot of yesterday's games. They give them the strike there. What am I looking at? Live. 29th, I want to say, is when they were there. Let's do this and flip it. That is hit, sliced, foul. Where were they? Where was they? Why did I close out my notepad? 29th. Okay, so they were the second game up. It was... Defensive lineup happens... Jake Arrieta. That's the name. That's the name. He's 7-2. Then they immediately have Adam Wainwright, who is playing very, very poorly. It's the dichotomy is weird. I also don't need you playing this in the background on my phone. I don't have battery for this phone. I can also do this cool thing where I, plug my phone in. Hey, hot tip. Plug your phone in. I don't know why my battery is so bad. Granted, it does play about 10 hours of Spotify a day, so... It plays 10 hours of Spotify on not great cell signal in that building. So I think that's partially why... So it's 0-2. We're here in the top of the second, nobody out. Leadoff batter will take a ball low, 1-2. Here comes the 1-2. It's low for a ball. 2-2. That is outside for a ball. So a full count after being ahead 0-2. Good takes by this leadoff batter for the Royals. And he will put a good swing on that, but pulls it foul. Another payoff pitch upcoming. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit out towards right. Got a little under it, so plenty of room for the right fielder to work with to make the out. Not a terrible at-bat. Goes down 0-2, takes 3 balls. Gets ahead in the count. A couple pieces of contact. Just couldn't get it away from the defender on the one that stayed fair. I guess was in fair territory. Didn't really stay fair. That implies that it was like really close to the line. That was very far away from the line. Here comes the pitch from the right-handed pitcher. It's going to be hitting up the third base line, rolling foul, 0-1. I hope this series provides some exciting moments, because that would be fun for the storylines, but I could also imagine this game just kind of going like, eh. I just feel like every time I insult the Toronto Blue Jays lineup, they come through. So maybe I need to do that more. Because if you look at it just from a name value perspective, they do feel like they underperform a little bit. They have been better, though. I think that's also part of the point that I miss, is that the Blue Jays have been better over the last probably month or so. It's just that sometimes the offense can look quite anemic. Pitching is not consistent right now. 3-1. Righty readies, winds, fires inside for ball 4, and the Royals didn't really have to do a whole lot there. They get a strike via the foul ball. Otherwise, none of the pitches were close. That's a pretty easy walk, relatively speaking. We bring up Josh Willingham with a runner on and 1 out. That is sliced foul. Fools us with the camera angle where you think, oh, this might be exciting. That's just a foul ball. There is the 0-1. Gets that low outside corner. Yesterday, the strike zone was a little wide in every region. Looks like it may have spilled over into today. There's the 0-2. Rolled to shortstop. Underhand toss to second. Here's the turn over to first in time. The walk causes them no trouble as they are able to get Kansas City to ground into a double play. Nady, Aviles, and Jeter coming up for the Toronto Blue Jays. No score here. See what Wainwright has for this Toronto Blue Jays lineup. There's the pitch. It is smacked up the third base line, foul. The 0-1 misses inside to make it 1-1. That is hit to the shortstop. Nice backhand stop as he fires over to first in time. And there is out number 1. So nobody can really get anything authoritatively out to the outfield. Been a couple of singles here and a walk. Mike Aviles. There is the wind and the pitch. That one doesn't get the call. I feel like we've seen a couple of pitches in that spot called strikes, but not on that one. Toronto maybe gets a bit of a benefit. See if they can take advantage of it. 1-0. Wainwright fires that inside for a strike. 1-1. That's low for a ball. Here comes the 3-0. Ooh, gets a strike at the knees. It's a good no-take situation. Hello, how are you? 3-1. Righty winds and fires. It's hit out to the crowd up the first base line. Right fielder takes a look at it, but there was nothing he was going to be able to do there. 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way. It is hit into left field. Left fielder dives but can't make the catch. It's off his forearm and falls for a single. Not a bad dive. Did miss the play, but ball stayed relatively close to him, and I don't think the runner was terribly concerned with trying to stretch that into a double off the bat. Those are the kind of dives you like to see, those kind of effort plays where it's just like, it just didn't quite work out, but it didn't bite you. We'll put one on for the Blue Jays. That pitch is way low for a ball. 1-0. Pitcher is ready with the 1-0. Fires. Jeter takes that inside for a strike. Gets that low inside corner. Righty winds. That is hit. Oh, it's going to be off the glove. Is he going to try to turn for third? He will. Right fielders have had a weird batch of animations hit them lately where they just come in kind of lackadaisically to get the ball. It's been giving up some extra bases, including a run score by, is it Nelson Cruz, I want to say? Somebody who is not known for their speed. But it's runners on the corners again. A nice play by the defense. Just can't come up with the ball. Righty winds and fires. That is hit out towards right field. Right fielder comes up with it. The runner tags at third. The right fielder throws it in. The cutoff is not relayed. So it'll be 1-0 Toronto heading to the bottom of the lineup. Rod Barajas, he was instrumental in yesterday's game, helping build the lead to 2 instead of just 1. That is not going to do the job this time. It's off the end of the bat, and it will be an easy out. Toronto scores 1 on a couple of hits. Walker, Gonzalez, and Jackson coming up. Just a couple missed defensive opportunities for the Royals. Otherwise, they could have this game tied at 0. 305 average here. The righty is ready. Toronto did have a little bit of trouble yesterday putting away the Cubs lineup clean and efficiently. They ended up giving up a run, though they were able to turn out number 2 on that same play, so it's a little, not the biggest deal in the world, but that's fouled away.
That ball's foul.
Not much. Hope you enjoyed the. Hope you enjoyed what you were playing. I don't know what that game is. 2-1. The righty winds, fires. That is hit. Flared up the third base line, but pulled foul. 2-2. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's fouled away. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoy it. That is going to get down in right field. That'll roll all the way to the wall. He will hit first to make the big turn to second. Right fielder's up with the ball, and the Royals in business, so they stand up double. I kind of figured it was a mobile thing. Just based on the title, because you have, flick with your finger. That is going to be punched in to right center or left center field. The runner will come around third to score, tying the game, and it'll be another stand-up double. So they'll just trade spots. That is an achievement / trophy in some of the later MLB The Show games. Trading spaces, trading places, something like that. MLB 24, maybe? Pitch is in for a strike on the outside. That is hit well, but foul. What's single pitcher, game by 24. Swung on and missed, so that'll set down with a runner only on, with only a runner on second base, hit an RBI double. It is literally called trading places. Big fan of the fact that I knew that. Pitch gets the strike on the low inside corner, and it'll be 0-1. Here comes the righty, fires inside for a ball. 1-1 with a 1-1 game, 1 out, and 1 runner on. So that's flared off the end of the bat, foul. And just swung on and missed. So a nice job by this pitcher. Bounced back. They gave up 2 hits, 2 doubles, and scored a run. And then back-to-back strikeouts to bring up Teixeira with 1 runner on second and 2 gone, as he have just enough to get past this big bat. Teixeira with a big hero swing at a pitch that was a little more over the middle than I think the pitcher wanted it to be. It's strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. It's going to be punched into right field. It's going to stay in play, and that will be out number 3. So they give up the 1 run that ties the game, but bounce back nicely. It's just the one run of damage. 3 hits, 1 run for each team. Damon, Ether, and Cabrera coming up. Johnny Damon batting .261. Oh, you know what I don't need is all these extra tabs open. Righty winds and fires. It's fouled off. That's upstairs for a ball. Ayo. Spells his name the correct way. 5-1 wine with some baseball. Thank you for the content as always. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for watching. That is hit well, but foul. So if you play, today was smooth, today, headphones we line off of it gets away. Oh, that's funny. That is a hit into right field. Right fielder just kind of stood there. It kind of makes sense. The Royals haven't had the greatest luck with the ball bouncing their way. They missed a dive in left field. It went off the second baseman's glove. It's been a little bit weird. I think you can kind of understand the right fielder probably doesn't want that play to get any worse than it is. It does put the leadoff runner on first. Pitcher nods in approval of the pitch the catcher selected. That is outside. Good to see you walk off. Glad I could help you unwind. Thanks for watching and hanging out. I appreciate it. Literally the whole point of the channel is to just provide something, a distraction, relaxing, whatever. I don't know how often it's relaxing when I'm screaming at an umpire, but we're not there yet. We're in our off season where we're just watching and commentating baseball. We'll rev up in the spring training for another season of that. MLB The Show, the current gen era. 1-1. Here's the wind and the pitch outside. Runner slides back to first. Two and one. Nobody gone with the winning run at first base. Here's the pitch. That is a walk-off home run. Wow. Hey, walk-off grand slam tuned in for a walk-off two-run home run. 3-1 your final here. Toronto. And they needed that win. Kansas City leads in the wild card race. The Blue Jays are 2.5 games back. The Blue Jays and Royals play 6 of their next 9 to 10 games. So I don't think there's a 4-game set in the middle, but well, here, 6 games over the next 10 days. There we go. So it's an excellent opportunity for the Blue Jays to pull the Royals back to them. And they get off to a good start. 3-1 your final. Andre Ethier, 2 for 2 with a home run. 2-run shot in the bottom of the third. John Garland gets the win and improves, to 6-2. Adam Wainwright falls to 1-7. Ethier's 5th home run of the season. And just like that, we are done with game number 1. Hit the like on the stream, everyone. Thank you for reminding me to say that. If you are enjoying the content, be sure to hit the like button. It is a free and easy way to help the channel out. I appreciate it. Let's bop on into our next game after we catch up on a couple of scores. Orioles over the Rangers 2-1. Rays over the Yankees 2-0. We just watched the Blue Jays beat the Royals. And we will drop down to the Astros and the Braves. A tight race between these two teams, separated by a game and a half, 1 extra win, 2 extra losses, maybe just a game. How's that math work out? Astros Braves. Here, we can look at it. Astros Braves. We'll look at the wild card. Okay, game and a half. I was right. They are both in second place, second and third. The Phillies, because of the Marlins, hold the wild card spot. All right, let's go view today's games. We'll drop there. Game and a half separating these two teams. They are bottom 5 in the league overall. While this is happening, I'm going to flip the thumbnail. If you're new, welcome in. If you've been around, good to see you. 31.2. Okay, here we go. Jason Hamel taking on Brandon Webb. Both pitchers pitching well. 6-2 versus 6-3. Close ERAs, 4.18 to 3.99. Though Hamel's given up a good chunk of hits extra. Houston 28-21. Atlanta 27-23. As we welcome you into Turner Field. A capacity of 50,097. So if you like odd numbers, that's probably a very nice thing to see. If you like even numbers or round numbers, not so fun. Sean Figgins leads things off at third base, followed by Fukudome. Kasuke Fukudome? Fukudome. I'm saying that wrong. There's too many syllables. I know it's smoother. You know what I mean? Matt Holliday in left field, Carlos Quentin in right, Billy Butler at first, Colby Rasmussen center, Omar Infante is at second, John Hester is the catcher, Marco Scudero is the shortstop. Fukudome? That still sounds two-syllable-y. Brandon Webb is 6-3 with a 3.99 ERA, 10 games, 29.1 innings pitched, 25-11 and 24 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Fukudome. Okay. Thank you. If anyone ever spelled my name Chone, I would give them a medal for the most the most unique misspelling of my name. Got my name spelled incorrectly at the coffee shop the other day. I think I talked about that. I just don't remember where. I talk so much. You can tell, you can see when they all have the touchpads, they hit the S, and if you because it's SEA and then N, right, for my name. But if as soon as you pull that hand across, I know you're going wrong. SH? No. Incorrect. SE, okay. 2-0 as we are underway here in game number 2. That strike gets the outside edge to make it 2-1. It's very syllable-ly. The PA even said, oh. Yeah, that's been brought up as well. Because I usually will just kind of imitate what it says in my headphones. And then somebody's like, no, it's like shown. Like I've shown you. Which is weird. That is a single into center field. And that is how we get things started. Boy, this little holder on the back of my phone is just getting worse and worse by the day. Didn't want Instagram. Texans Steelers update from the studio. 7-6 Houston with the ball and 22 seconds left in the first half. It's the safest bet. Yeah, you would assume that they would have, they'd have the correct pronunciation of it, but they don't. I got to contact all 30 major league teams to get the breakdown. Oh, that's going to get past the pitcher. It's too bad he slid into second. Might have been able to try to take that extra 90 feet. It's probably not a smart idea, but just poorly executed by Atlanta all around. The catcher doesn't catch the ball. Kind of a disastrous start, but they do like to put that is smashed out. The Houston Astros do like putting Figgins in motion. Yeah, walk-offs all over it, usually. Oh, good. I'm glad. That is hit up the middle. Shortstop comes up with the ball, throws over to first in time. Figgins advances to third. So 1 out, and Figgins is able to advance 2 bases, thanks in part to the catcher misplay behind the dish. Matt Holliday now has a good handful of ways to get this to run in to take an early lead. Figgins had speed. Yeah, Figgins, and he might be the most common player that we see in motion. Brett Gardner is up there for the Mariners, but it seems like he's not quite as consistent about getting on base. Feels like Figgins has just enough in his bat to get him to first, and then he goes, all right, I'm going to go wherever I'd like to go now. Ooh, that is a great take. This game loves the overrated chant. Fly ball gets the early lead. That's true. Indeed it does. That gets a strike called. Pitch so bad it's good, right at the knees. You can see how far inside the catcher was set up, and then it just drifts over the plate. That is outside for a ball. Figgins was a slept-on ball player back then. Probably. I believe that. What would you say makes him a slept-on player back in his day? If I had to guess, it would be that people didn't know how to utilize this speed. You want him on your team kind of guy. Okay. We can get behind that. I believe he was a Mariner during this. I think that's his picture, at least, as a Mariner. I restarted the game to figure out when these rosters were accurate as of, and it does not show. But it also is not in the instruction manual, so... That is... Ooh, outside corner, I guess? Wow, I thought that was gonna be a ball. One out with runners on the corners. Just because of the 5-tool type of player. But okay. That's way inside for a ball. Shakes his head, not approving of the location of that pitch. As the pitcher comes way inside. Righty. Winds and fires. That is just foul up the third base line. Can't remember when the rosters became accurate either. Never know. Marco Scooter. That's inside. Dirty slide he did into Marco Scooter. That was brutal. So wait, who slid into... That is foul. Who slid into Posey? Safe. They don't work. Stop doing it, video game. We're going to have to run this back in MLB 11, the show on the PlayStation 3, just to see... just to see what happens. I mean, how often do you think the pickoffs work in the PlayStation 3 version of the game? You set it up for random rosters. Right, it's like that. Morrison. Okay. That is hit foul. Foul ball. So, let's see. Because I wonder when if we could figure out when are the Madden rosters set. This is a fly ball out towards right center field. Right fielder is chasing, reaches up and makes the grab. Going to be an easy run scored, and it'll give the Astros the lead 1-0 as the ball gets run in. Because like Madden has its rosters set. I have a Madden game right over here. Hold on. We're gonna solve this mystery. So I have two games. We're going to look at ESPN NFL 2002. Oh, you just looked it up? Scott Cousins, gotcha. Figgins was on Seattle from 10 to 12. Oh, had to research David. Coming in with the swoop. I think I looked that up. I just didn't remember. But yeah, okay, 10 to 12. All right, so we have ESPN NFL Primetime 2002. We have Madden NFL 2005. Both of these have instruction manuals. I'm curious if they have the roster dates, and then we could kind of guess for here. Okay. Handling your PlayStation 2 format. Defensive controls. All new hit stick. They put a runner in motion. It's out to right field. It's going gone. 2-run home run. Let's see. Favorite a team at auto saves, user profiles, play online, new modes, EA Sports. Oh, if you have an existing name on AOL Instant Messenger, AIM, CompuServe 2000 or Netscape AOL Instant Messenger, you can use it as your EA account name. Good to know. There's no way this is going to have the rosters. Limited 90-day warranty. Notice returns within the 90-day warranty. Saving and loading. Files created by Madden NFL 2005 Special Collector's Edition are not compatible with the normal versions of Madden NFL 2005 and vice versa. What? I just swung on and missed. It's 3-0 Houston as we are reading the Madden NFL 2005. You're telling me that the Special Collector's Edition, you can't use those files. Let's get you caught up on the lineups here for Atlanta. Danny Worth is the shortstop. He'll lead things off. Howie Kendrick at second. Josh Hamilton in left. Andrew Jones in center. Matt Joyce in right. A.J. Przinsky is the catcher. Ross Glode is the designated hitter, and he's a smiley man. Mark Tian at third base and Gabby Sanchez at first. Let's see. I don't see anything for that. That's not that. Oh, you can create a fan. Oh, cool. Oh, man. Remember Madden codes? Or cards, excuse me. Jason Hamill, 6-2, a 4.18 ERA, 9 games with a 28 innings, 35, 10, and 20. I'd use my parents' email. Yeah, I didn't have... The first console I ever went online with was the 360. I had my own email that I used for my Xbox Live account that I still use to this day. You can make a bio. Huh, this doesn't have anything as far as, like, the rosters. There's even a spot that says, like, saving or loading rosters. There's a proof of purchase, which is kind of a weird thing. Okay. Huh. So, okay. Well, great. Now I'm gonna look that up. What is the difference between the Madden 2005 and 2005 Special Edition? 2 balls, no strikes. Plenty of time here for Atlanta to get back into the game. That is grabbed by the second baseman, thrown over to first in time. Thank you for purchasing ESPN NFL Primetime 2002. Please browse through this manual before starting play to get the most from your gaming experience. This game is so bad. Copyright 2001 Disney. There's no way that they're going to have... Oh, cool. We could send in a survey thing. Who purchased this game? Mom, dad, you, grandparent, friend, other. I got it free from somebody in a van. Oh, you could call the Konami hot tip line. Hint and tip line. 1-900-896-HINT. Let's see, that's right, because we did a fantasy draft in this game. This game is very, very bad. Okay, well, I was kind of hoping that the franchise mode, main menu, gameplay. Passing, gameplay, main menu, franchise. Oh, okay, maybe franchise. Let's see, exhibition franchise, salary cap, league, week by week. No, darn. You figured that it would be like, ESPN NBA 2 Night. Who's that guy? Let's see. Alright, so here we go. I used to call Nintendo hotlines for Final Fantasy 3 tips. Whoa. My poor parents paying however much a minute that was. Oh, man. Okay. 7-6 at halftime. That's your in-studio update for the football game. 1 on, 1 out. 3-0 game. Braves trail. So we got to go ESPN NBA 2 nights. NIGHT? 2002. Oh, that's in the corner, by the way. And they're coming around to score. It's a runner on second, and the throw home. Closer than the experts might think. Wait, what? Did that not have all the teams? Why does it say it only has teams Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Cleveland, Golden State, Los Angeles, Brooklyn, and New York? Who's the... cover athletes? Oh, it is Tracy McGrady. Oh, okay. Alright. Madden, NFL, 5, special, SPECIAL, edition. And why is that different? Collector's edition. Why is that different than... Game sold 4 million copies. Huh. That was the year that they put out ESPN NFL 2K5 for $20. Oh, weird. I didn't even see that you said wholeness or whatever. Holiness? I assumed hotline. Weird. We're on the same wavelength. Okay, well, we didn't get any closer to solving that mystery. I was curious if we could figure out, like, okay, when an NFL game says that the rosters are accurate as of whatever, April, let's say. Well, you'd have to have it after April for the rookies, so it would probably be like May, maybe? Which would be, what, 3 months before? So these would be accurate as of, like, December, January-ish. Now we just get the rosters updated for us, so. But MLB isn't great about their roster updating. Like, it should be updated sooner. It feels like it's updated, like, just a little too late. I know I'll go in and make sure that I have, like, the most accurate roster I can find. I'll make sure to get that set correctly. Because every year we're, like, missing players. Like, we missed an entire year of Julio one year because I started it too early. Like, it should be set. I mean, when do the MLB teams have their rosters ready? But it's okay because I got to pump out all the cards for the Diamond Dynasty mode that everyone complains about. New EA Sports Radio. Fear the D, make the big stop. You can customize your crowd. Hit stick control. AOL dial-up compatible. Never played much of Madden NFL 2005. Played a lot of Madden 2004. I just swung on and missed. And then... So we were always a console generation behind or so. And then we ended up with a 360 in 2008, maybe? 2009? Somewhere in that range. One of the first games I bought for was NCAA Football 2008. Dead Rising, Rainbow Six Vegas, and NCAA Football. Those are the first 3 games I had for 360. I think pretty shortly after I ended up having Halo. Halo 3. What a game. That is in for a strike. We have a 3-1 game here, top of the second. Dial it back in. Stop worrying about when these rosters may have been accurate. Because they're not accurate because it's randomized through a fantasy draft. 1-1. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate it. I just hit right to the third baseman. Makes a nice play at the hot corner. Fires over to first in time for the out. How are we feeling? Are we excited about the World Baseball Classic, everybody? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. If you are enjoying it, hit the thumbs up. Helps the channel. And it's free. People love free and easy ways to help things. Giving the video a thumbs up does that, and subscribing does that as well. Strike is on the outside edge. That'll be 0-1. Oops. That is flared into foul territory. No one's going to be able to get there. Red Sox betrayed Devers, signed Bregman. They trade Devers. Now Bregman signs with the Cubs. That is a wild cycle. Cycle will go down as one of the worst moves by a GM. Red Sox fans are cooked. Yeah. I mean, is that worse than trading Mookie Betts? I mean, it's gotta be. You bring in a guy, piss off another guy, trade him. Yeah, it's gotta be worse. Marco Scutaro. One on, one out. Had pitch inside for a ball. I mean, that's the danger of those opt-out contracts. I know people are, at least some of the podcasts and stuff I listen to, they'll get the lead or the runner going from first to second. That was the lead runner. Not sure where I'm going with this thought process. Yeah, it was the lead runner. For some reason, I thought they had a runner on third. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Pay more attention. Mr. Me. Oops, not bold. Two gone. The game does not like teams that only get one out at a time. You do take care of that lead runner, but usually what we see is if you can't convert that double play, that sometimes the game just doesn't let you convert. Just due to the jankiness of this final MLB The Show on the PlayStation 2. It does typically give the advantage to the offense. The throw is in from right field. It's cut off. Wonder if that threw off any potential of getting him out at third base. Those slides are so slow. I mean, everything is so slow in this game. Kind of just wonder if you don't... Okay. Kosuke Fukudome. Okay, yeah, just more syllabled than... Huh, wow. So he'll take a pitch inside. I didn't catch his name the first time, mainly because we were reading instruction manuals. Very helpful. Welcome to Shaunosaurus Rex Reads. Today we're reading Madden NFL 2005. That is hit right to the shortstop. He will go over to first in time for the out and retire the side. Keeps the lead at 2. So surprised we actually saw a pickoff become an out last week. After like a million working, to see one work was crazy. I know I'm the host of this lovely series. When did that happen? Oh, was that when he overthrew him and then went to third or something like that?
That ball foul.
I think I'm remembering. That's inside for a ball. So he like slid into second or the bobble and right or something? Or was that a different thing? What if I wasn't watching and I just missed the whole thing? Fires over to first for the out. One gone here in the bottom of the second. Houston kind of playing how I play. We score 3 runs in the first and just go hold on for dear life, everybody. There he is. Ross Galode, he's happy to be here. Just remember it was last week at all? Is all? Okay. Well, thankfully I only streamed a couple of times last week because I... Oh, you know what? I would not be surprised if I did actually genuinely miss that because I had... Last week I had to... kept coughing and I... Yeah. Darn. I'll have to... I guess I'd have to go back through and see it because there were so many times I'd have to mute the camera and mute the game or mute the microphone so I'm not hacking into your ears. That is in the air and over. Here goes the center fielder to reach for it and make the out. 2 gone here. Martin adjusts himself and we're ready. Maybe even 2 weeks ago now. But you didn't. But it didn't feel that old. No, a pitcher did a pickoff for an out, and you saw it because you flipped out too. Okay, cool, great. I saw it. I was there. I was there. He says he hosts every single one of these. Nobody else comes in and sits in this chair and goes, I'm going to watch 2.5 to 4 hours of PlayStation 2 baseball. 1-1. God, what a miserable night that 4-hour day was, huh?
Yep.
It's the strike at the knees. That was the 8-inning game that broke me. Oh my goodness. I mean, to be fair, this game itself broke me before the season even started. Swung on and missed to retire the side because it doesn't work the way I want it to. You can turn down every single pitcher in the game's stamina to 0, and they go, yeah, we'll throw 5 innings, no problem. No problem. Okay, so we have 1 successful pickoff. We need to remember that. We have had 5 ejections. We haven't had an ejection in a while. I would love to see an ejection. Put those back in MLB The Show. What are we doing? Bring that back. Give me the little triangle push mini game from MVP NCAA baseball, and maybe the MVP baseball games before that, where you can like get thrown out and then you don't have any control over your managerial staff. That pitch is low. I did see someone, I think they're still doing the technical fouls in NBA 2K for foul language, which is pretty funny to see. I remember that being like an actual feature for like the Kinect. Yeah, if you overreact, you'll get a technical foul. Wow, realism. I'd get ejected from so many games. Ooh, appeal. He does not go. Two and two. Here comes the pitch. Winds and fires. It is hit out towards left center field. The center fielder moving over and lunges to make the grab to put him away. So now we have a 98 or a 99% success rate of the runner getting back to first base. They are going to head to the bullpen. Last year there was a setting for ejections at MLB The Show, but I never tried it out. Oh. I'll have to dive a little bit deeper. Chris Ray's 14 games, 3-2 record. I'll grab the stats as I was reading chat. F for full screen. 14 games, a 3-2 record. No saves, an ERA of even 6, 18 innings, 9 walks, 13 strikeouts. Huh, okay. Well, I'll keep an eye on that. That is a strike. Keep an eye on that setting. I usually go through the settings when I first start up the game, and then I don't usually go back to tinker with them. I can also look at some... because we'll have our difficulty set and ready to roll. And then what we can do is also maybe tinker. I don't usually tinker with the stuff on the back end, but I do in Madden. So maybe we can look at like best CPU and user settings for MLB The Show as we get prepped for year number 6. I think we'll eclipse game number 1,000 this year. That sounds wrong. 5. 8, 10 plus some playoff games. Yeah, we should get to game number 1,000 total, including playoffs. I think we've definitely played 28 playoff games over the course of 5 years. How many did we play? We had 5 World Series games. We had 6, as I just swung on and missed. We had 6 Championship Series games. So that's 11. And then at least 3 in the divisional round. So that'd be 14 right there. I mean, seeing as how we've made the World Series every single year. Yeah, we'll hit game number 1,000. I got to figure out exactly when that would be. Here's the wind and the pitch inside for a ball. I have a bunch of prep work to do. March is a big month for the channel. 1-0. Let's get excited. March Mascot Madness is coming back this year. Because of MLB The Show, I believe the first day will be February 27th. So if you want to watch mascots play basketball and make picks, stay tuned for that. The bracket should be live at the last Friday of January. January 30th. Maybe the Friday before, the 23rd, to give it a full month. Two and 1. Sean attempts math. Should be my second channel. I'm pretty good with numbers. I just don't trust it sometimes. Welcome to Mathosaurus Rex. And it's just me not doing well. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is high and outside for a ball. Full count with 2 away here at the top of the third. Good opportunity for Atlanta to get out of this with another goose egg. Here's the pitch. It is foul. We'll do another payoff pitch. And that's inside. So, has him right there to get out number 3, but walks him with the pitch way inside. Colby Rasmus is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Lefty hitter takes a look at a pitch way outside into the other batter's box. Ball 1. I feel like I jinxed Atlanta on accident by saying that they needed to get that out so that it would be just a 2-run deficit, a bloop and a blast in the bottom of the third. We saw it just in the last game. That is going to be hit right back to the catcher, or pitcher, excuse me. He'll field the ball and fire over to first in time for out number 3. So Atlanta, after giving up the 3 runs in the first inning, has been able to shut this Houston offense down. They need their offense to pick things up. It'll be Sanchez, Worth, and Kendrick as the lineup will flip over. Down 2. Gabby Sanchez, a 192 average, no home runs, 7 RBI. You just need him to get on base. You need a positive start here, whether it's a hit, or whether it's a walk. There's a good start for a walk. In 25, it was in general between injuries and balks. Oh. Okay. We'll keep an eye out for it. Actually, here. We'll make a little note. MLB The Show 26 setup. We'll go set ejections, ejections to on. Get best / most accurate rosters. And then tinker with CPU settings on the back ends. La Madden. Problem with Madden is it doesn't carry your overall settings into franchise mode. Big old stupid pain in the ass game. God, that franchise. That is going to be hit toward the first baseman. Rolled over. Steps on the bag, and that is an out. So not the start you're looking for if you're the Atlanta Braves. Of course, that's not maybe really the guy you want at the plate in that situation. A batting average under 200. And, hey, maybe not the guy you want as the lineup flips over. He has a 0 average. I thought a batting average under 200 wasn't great. Hey, here's a guy who has literally a 0 average. Here comes the righty's pitch. Winds and fires. Oh man. Pulls it foul. Wants that one back. 0-1. Left fielder trots over, but the center fielder will take over, and that will be an out. So 2 gone, 7 straight retired for Jason Hamill. Howie Kendrick is 1 for 1 with a single and a run. Here's the pitch. It is inside for a strike. Just gets that inside corner. Back my chair up a smidge. Feel like I'm right on top of everything. 0-1. Here comes the pitch. It is hit. Shortstop leaped a little bit too early. That's going to be a single. He is going to head for a double. Can the center fielder get it in time? It is late. Safe. Good aggressive base running to get into scoring position and put some pressure on this Houston defense. As soon as the game said, hey, he'd retired 7 straight. It's up to Josh Hamilton now. Did you yourself draw the cool little profile picture for your channel? No, a friend of mine drew that years and years ago. Banana Milk Art drew that when they got a new... that's going to get away. The runner doesn't go to third. Wow, that's surprising considering how aggressive he was to get to second off the hit. She got a new digital art thing and then was like, hey, here's a picture. Here's your profile picture as a piece of art. Oh my God. I thought that was about to be a tie game. Holy moly. Here comes the 1-1, way outside for a ball. Houston looking for one more out here. Hamilton puts a swing on that one. It's going to drop softly into the left fielder's glove. That will end the game. Everything gets scored in the first inning. 3 runs for Houston, 1 run for Atlanta. Zeros the rest of the way. And Houston walks away victorious with a 2-run victory to open up the series in Atlanta. That is game number 2. I spent most of it with my nose in a book, an instruction manual for Madden NFL 2005. Billy Butler was 1 for 1 with a home run. It was a 2-run blast. Looks like it is his 7th of the season. Jason Hamill improves to 7-2. Brandon Webb falls to 6-4. That is the end of game number 2. End of month statistics. I've wondered why we got that for the Kansas City Royals. 14-10 during the month. That's kind of fun to get. All right, let's catch up on some scores. I think it's actually just the one. White Sox over the Tigers, 2-0. Kind of a battle of bad teams there in the American League Central. Brewers and Nationals is our next game. They're kind of close record-wise. I thought it was actually a more interesting game, and then I realized that they're both under 500, so whoopsie doodle. Let's jump in and change that thumbnail. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. If you haven't already, consider hitting that like button or the thumbs up or whatever if you're having a good time and enjoying the content. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos. Let's quickly check a studio update. As we learn that, Houston still leads 7-6 most of the way through the third quarter. 3:42 left in the third. It'll be the Milwaukee Brewers here for us as we get set for game number 3. Milwaukee is 24-26. The Nationals are 24-27. Again, I thought this game was a little more enticing, and then as I was getting the thumbnails, I was like, "Ooh, shoot! Both these teams are under 500, huh?" Ah, well, that's okay. Brian Roberts is the second baseman. He'll lead things off. Switch hitter. Niger Morgan in center. Jason Kubel in right. Luke Scott at first. Vernon Wells is in left field. Jack Cust is your designated hitter for the Milwaukee Brewers. David Freese at third. Ryan Hannigan behind the dish. And Angel Sanchez is the shortstop. How many amounts of games is the season again? It is 82 games per team. It is stretched over, I think, 95 days, I want to say. I have it here in my notes. Tim Hudson's 4-5 with a 7.27 ERA. 10 games, 26 innings, 31-11, and 15. I said 26 innings. So it's an 82-game season. It started April 1st. It'll end July 4th. It is a total of 95 days, and then it is 92 days of broadcast because there's 3 days for the All-Star break. And then there'll be the playoffs after that. So that's just the regular season. The playoffs are going to be a little bit tricky to broadcast just with how... What's weird is, so the MLB has figured it out. We're underway with a ball. The MLB has figured it out now where they have basically the AL goes one day, and then they both go one day, and then the NL goes the next day. But in this game, it's all mixed and mashed, where it's 2 AL games and an NL game, and then 2 AL games where the NL team doesn't play, and then it's 2 and 3 and 1. It's all so weird. God, I miss season mode. Oh, man. Hey, you were preaching to the choir. I miss season mode as well. I love, doing franchise mode is awesome. If they put season mode back in, I know they substituted it out with March to October, because season mode and franchise mode's a little redundant, but they offer 2 different things. But because the new MLB The Show games are so unmalleable with, like, franchise mode, you can't do anything other than 162 games. 162 9-inning games. Like, ugh. Just give me season mode. We could do, like, how great would it be to basically run through the season mode as the Seattle Mariners. As soon as that's done, we jump right back into MLB The Show 26, fantasy draft the rosters, and just do this, but with current rosters in a current game. I've never really messed with March to October, but I imagine that it doesn't work anything the way I want it to. Swing type very early on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, well outside the zone. Customization is what the new games lack. The only game that does it well is NBA 2K. It's as malleable as I want it to be, and it's even better on the back end because I can rip a pack of cards and make that a team and then just simulate and see what happens. I tried to do it with MLB The Show 25, and it broke me. I spent an hour and a half trying to, like, trade teams from various, trade players from various teams. Here, I have the stack of cards right here. I bought a fat pack, or a hanger box. It has 59 cards. It has more than enough players to fill a whole team, and you get enough. I got enough pitchers for it. But then when you trade, it doesn't trade on the same level. It brings everybody up to the MLB, and it's just a mess. But NBA 2K just goes, yeah, do whatever. We don't care. Spend your money here. Their setup is good. You can watch all the games if you want to. You can adjust the quarter lengths. Oh, just put that in MLB The Show, please. It makes my life so much easier. March to October is nothing like season mode. It's fun for its quickness. Sometimes, but overall I'd rather have old school season mode. Yeah, I will check on the runner. Been successful one time. 1 on, 1 out with a 1-0 count. No score here in the top of the first, just underway. Here's the wind and the pitch as they put the runner in motion. So it was actually good for them to check on the runner. He is safe at second. That pitch just a little bit low, and then the throw a little bit high. Not that it really matters. No matter where they get the ball, they always end up back in that kind of location before they try the tag. I did watch the... Was it Joe's and Shelfie that did one on JM Gaming? I watched their Yankees March to October. I just like the flow of the game. I'm not very good at just jumping into a game in the middle of it and going like, okay, I'm going to hit the ball now, I guess. 3-0. That is inside for a ball. So it's good that the runner made it to second safely on the steal. Not usually more bumming than when they try to get the steal, they miss the steal, and then they end up working a walk anyway. They would have been on second if they just had a little bit more patience. 2-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit into left field. Oh, okay, that's right to the left fielder. He made such little movement, I thought it was gone. But then I glanced up in the top right, and I was like, nobody's moving. This must be an out, and that's what it was. Young makes the catch. And it'll bring up Vernon Wells. Righty winds and fires a ball. Two on with two gone. That is in for a strike. Readies and fires. That was a ball. Okay. I think it might have something to just kind of to do with our angle of it. It looked like a strike, but might have been just a touch outside. 2-1. It was very confusing. Both myself and it looked like the catcher kind of froze of like, that was a ball? That one is fouled away. It'll be strike 2. 2-2.
That ball foul.
With 2 outs, 2 on. Readies and fires. Gets the strike call and just kind of looked at everything there, huh? I guess he fouled off 1 pitch for strike 2, and then that was kind of on the outside where it had already been called a ball, but he called it a strike that time. Milwaukee gets a hit and a walk, but can't do anything with it. That'll bring up the Washington Nationals here in the home half of the first. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, will get things led off. Then it'll be Delman Young from left field. Ryan Howard at first. Kelly Shopich at the catching position. Mike Cameron in center. Chris Coughlin is the designated hitter. Russell Branyan is at third. Carlos Guillen at second. And Angel Pagan. Angel Pagan? In right field. Angel? 3 switch hitters in these Washington Nationals lineup. It's actually evenly split. Switch hitters, left hitters, righties. We're going to take a look at CC Sabathia, who's 2-4 with a 3.55 ERA. 10 games with 25.1 innings pitched, 30, 16, and 18 hits, walks, and strikeouts. 46 hits and walks combined to just 18 strikeouts. Not great, but not the worst. Sitting in a cold bathroom, waiting for poop. While watching a decade-and-a-half-old baseball video game is peak life. I mean, at least there's technology. Can't imagine that before phones. That is hit out towards right field, and that is really going to take a turn. The right fielder, with where that ball started, and to watch the right fielder in the top, like, right corner walk away from where it looked like the trajectory was going to be, was a wild sight. It's Angel Pagan. You had it best the second time. Okay, thank you. That is outside for a ball. 1-0. Sabathia, the lefty, fires that outside. Gets the strike call. That edge already a little bit weird. 2 strikes to 1 ball. On the outside to the couple of right-handed hitters now. 1-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's swung on and missed. One and 2. 1 out. There is a pitch outside. That one was way outside. It looked like it hit the white on the other side. Make it 2-2. We are through 3 in Pittsburgh. Houston leads 7-6. That is smacked out towards right center field. Ballpark, and maybe the wind going to hold it. It's going to take a funky path out to the right fielder. And that'll be 2 away. For Milwaukee to have such a good pitching staff, and then they have CC Sabathia under 500 in his decisions at 2-4 is a little bit of a head tilt. Like, oh, interesting. Oh. That is a strike on the outside, lefty to lefty. Here comes the pitch from Sabathia. That's going to be... Goodness gracious, what is the wind? that went into foul territory by the end of that. Oh my goodness. Cust, Freeze, and Hannigan go Mariners. Coming up for Milwaukee in the top half of the second. That is wild. Hold on, we'll pause it. Jack Cust is stepping in. 18-mile-an-hour wind. Oops. That is wild. Where that ball started and then drifted into foul territory. We're going to probably get one of those weird ones that it's like, they're going to give us the angle like it looks like it's going to be a foul ball, like into the stands, but because of the wind it's going to like curve back in. That is a big swing under it, and it's missed. 0-2? No, 1-1. Darn. Took a stab at it. Took a stab and missed. That is inside for a ball. So 2-1 to the leadoff hitter here. Top of the second. That is hit well out towards left field. Is it going to stay in the ballpark? It will. Couple steps away from the wall. I didn't know where it was going. That wind is so tricky to figure out. That was why when I was doing one of those college seasons that in those games that drove me absolutely insane. That was one of the things that was so weird about it is the computer always knew where the ball was going to go, but I had no idea. So you have to go in and turn on the outfield like the ball locator. It's like I don't know what that means. So almost a loud start for the Nationals. Or, excuse me, for the Brewers in Washington in the top of the second. But it falls just short of the wall out there in that kind of funky little corner where it just keeps going deep and then cuts down. I don't know. It's an odd little section of the outfield in Washington. That's hit towards right field and caught. And that is 2 away. Ryan Hannigan batting 185 with a home run, 7 RBI. He'll step in. That gets the inside edge. 0-1. That is inside for a ball. Here comes the 1-1. Pitcher winds and fires. Gets that in for a strike. 1-2. To an offense that hasn't had a lot of answers. Only one hit so far in the game. It was Milwaukee. Does not bode well for us viewers here, as Milwaukee does have a good pitching staff. Top 10 rated pitching staff after the fantasy draft. 2-2 with 2 out. And that is low for a ball. Full count, so a payoff pitch on the way. Righty readies, winds and fires. Outside, it'll be ball 4. So Milwaukee works a walk with 2 outs. And an opportunity for Angel Pagan. Angel Sanchez. Here's the opening pitch. It is high and inside, but does get that strike call. That zone, or that portion of the zone, has been a little weird in this, in the last couple of games, if I'm being just totally honest. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That will be hit into left field. Rolls into left field softly, advances the walk to second base, and see if the Brewers can do something here with 2 outs. This game tends to punish defenses that can't get out number 3. Usually, it's weird. It's weird to watch a game punish its players or the computer for not being able to get an out that the game doesn't give you. It's very odd. That is fouled away. It's most common when they're not able to turn a double play, where the game goes, okay, you screwed up, even though we gave you the animation or the infielder bobbled the ball for literally no reason. Prepare to give up 13 runs. That's inside for a ball. Did have our highest scoring offense of the season yesterday in the Pittsburgh Pirates, who crushed the Minnesota Twins 14-1. Here we're deadlocked at 0. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It is foul up the first base line. Good break for Milwaukee, as that was going to be probably a pretty easy out if it didn't go foul. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is going to be hit right back up the middle. They will send that runner around third, and they'll send the runner around second. The throw is in, but late. Milwaukee takes a 1-0 lead with a hit right back up the middle. Let's see. It doesn't give the pitcher the fielding animation. And that'll bring up Nyjer Morgan. Had that batter, the run-scoring batter, had him 3-2. Could not get strike 3. Morgan fires out up the third baseline. Foul. Safe. Here's the wind and the pitch. In for a strike. Kind of a pitch that was so bad it's good. You can see that catcher set up a little more outside. It drifted over the plate a little bit. A 0-2, 2 gone. A 1-0 lead. Runners on the corners. And that will be foul. I think it's a good swing there by Morgan. That was kind of a similar spot. You could see where that catcher stepped all the way into that, behind that right-hand batter's box. And it just gets a little too close on the edge. Good defensive swing to foul it off. They're going to try that yet again. It's going to go up the middle, but the shortstop will take care of it. But it's in. Oh my goodness, that is thrown away. They're going to throw it over to third, but he is safe. A disastrous play. The speed, why didn't you toss it to second? It's a spin that's just, the speed going up the first base line rushed the throw. And the Nationals, well, they punished themselves on that one. That is a brutal overthrow. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and just winged it. I guess they're kind of lucky that it didn't go into the dugout and give the runners the extra base, which might have scored a run. They were kind of already on the way to the next base anyway. That is foul at the third baseline. So a big insurance run there for Milwaukee. I know there's still a hole inning and a half to go. We're not even at the halfway point, but Toronto couldn't hold on to the 1-0 lead, but they did get the 2-run walk-off home run. That is, wow, this inning is completely falling apart. It's going to be an out at the plate. Okay, so some aggressive base running there from Niger Morgan is an out at home plate. Good throw in for from right field. Take a look at it here. I mean, it's just a disastrous series of events here in the top half of the second. And I got right by the first baseman. Yeah, dove right over the top of it. Milwaukee has 4 hits, 3 runs scored. Washington 0s except for that error. That will be into center field. Center fielder, good read and 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Mike Cameron, he can do some damage. He can get a hold of one. 3-0 Milwaukee. Sabathia leaves that one outside for a ball. 1-0. Humano. Sabathia winds and fires. That is hit out towards right field. I said he could do damage, and he does. It's a solo shot. Those extra couple runs coming in handy for the Brewers immediately. And the defensive lapse is looking even worse for the Milwaukee Brewers. Cameron goes opposite field. I think he clears a little bit of that higher portion of the wall. It is 3-1 now. Chris Coughlin steps in. He's averaging 200. No home runs, 6 RBI for him. Let's see. Texans have scored a couple of times since I last looked with 11:22 remaining in the fourth. It is 17-6 Houston over the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is outside for a ball. And AFC South turned into a pretty interesting division, and then unfortunately the Daniel Jones injury made it a 2-team race rather than a 3-team race. That's inside for a ball. They called that a strike. I was thinking about Josh Allen and I got distracted. They called that a strike. My bad. 2-1. Was that a strike? I mean, that looked inside to me. That's why I was so confused there. This will be hit out to center field. The center fielder takes a few steps in, makes the slight adjustment, and makes the catch. Hey, there's Niger Morgan. Got thrown out at home in the previous half inning, but makes the grab right there. Buffalo Bills win on the road for the first time since 1992. Including a loss that was, I guess, so controversial that they finally fixed the overtime rules in the NFL. They're still kind of stupid, but they at least fixed them a little bit. Oh my God. The wind takes that one into foul territory. That will retire the side. They are able to strike back and score 1 on the solo home run. Washington trails 3-1 as we head to the top of the third. Luke Scott stepping up to lead things off here. Up by 2. Pitcher winds and fires. That one's inside for a ball. Sometimes I gotta double check. Can't get ahead of myself. Gotta look at the umpire. Lock in. Me and the ump. Call him this a strike or a ball, buddy. Here's the wind and the pitch. Inside yet again. That's a ball. And gets a strike call on the outside. All right. What'd I say, Sean? Lock in. That threw me for a loop. That's hit. Foul. Why? All of these plays are so close. So a crazy stat about the Packers today. Oh, God. They suck farts. Poopy doo-doo idiots. Crazy stat about how historic they're losing in the last few minutes of games with a 10-point lead. Crazy bad. Historic bad. Ugh. Yeah, it's awful. Let's just pretend that those last two games against the Bears didn't happen. Dusty Hughes is a lefty. He has 17 games with an 0-1 record. One save with a 5.40 ERA. 5.40 ERA, 18.1 innings pitched, 10-10 walks and strikeouts. Not only is it historically bad, it's inexcusably bad. Like, unacceptably, inexcusably bad. I thought that the Hail Mary in Seattle hurt. I thought that the NFC Championship game against Seattle where they blew a 19-point lead hurt. The last two games against the Bears this season were absolutely crushing. I said with 8 minutes left in the third quarter that the Chicago Bears are going to win that game. That is the most Packers-ass football game I have seen in quite a while. They do that more than you might think. And I'm sure it just feels that way because I watch them closely because they are my favorite team. They do the same garbage all the time. They get out to a big lead. They fart around. And they let the opposition, in this case the Bears, they let them get into a rhythm, and their defense is out on the field too much, and they run out of stamina, and then miscommunications happen, and it's a collapse that just makes me not ever want to watch football again. They did some way losing 3 times this year. And all of football before had only happened once in its history. Yeah, I don't know why Matt LaFleur is still the coach. I went to bed. I was gonna make a video. I was like, you know what? I don't need to be hot-headed on the internet. We can think about it. That is a collapse. And not only the one game, the 2 games, the fact that they lost 5 in a row, the fact that the special teams let them down in 3 separate games, McManus missed 2 field goals and an extra point. That's 7 points left on the field. Ugh. Ugh. You ever watch Urinating Tree? He's a good sports YouTuber who is also a Packers fan. I think his stuff has shown up in my feed before, but I don't know that I have gone through and watched any of it. The collapse of the last quarter of the season for Green Bay should have cost LaFleur his job. Because you can go back, as this is hit into right field, you can go back a couple years to the NFC title game. They went for a field goal down 8 and then gave the ball back to Tom Brady. To Tom Brady. That was a horrible decision. They've had multiple first-round exits in a row. You're a man culture enough to enjoy his content. I will check it out. That is low for a ball. Down 8. You go for it. What are you doing? It's a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Oh, God. I think there's enough of those decisions, as that is fair, up the third baseline. I think there are enough of those decisions over the last few years where that collapse to the Bears should have been the end for LaFleur. Every team deals with injuries. There were multiple torn ACLs. They lost one of their best receiving threats. You want to go back to, speaking of ACL tears, a meaningless Week 18 game last year. They lost Christian Watson. They're going to send him home. That is not a good decision to throw. He was safe. What? Why is this game this way? That should have been an out. How was that not an out? Oh my goodness. That's unreal. This animation is so bad. Oh, this should be an out. Look at how beaten the catcher is here. Or the runner is, excuse me. Look at that. Where's he going? He completely turns. What? He's behind me. Oh, shoot. Gets that hand in, and it is safe. Brutal.
Okay, let's play.
Which collapsed to the Bears, the first or the second? I mean, obviously it's the second because it eliminates you from the season. But the first one was maybe even worse. A 10-point lead with 2 minutes to go. All you have to do is recover an onside kick. Are we Brandon Bostic in Seattle? Oh. It's just inexcusably bad. The out is made in center field. So no extra damage is done, but the game apparently hates the Washington Nationals. Milwaukee scores a run that they absolutely should not have scored. That should have been the second run that Milwaukee had cut down at the plate, but the game just doesn't know how to have like a fluid animation. Catch it, kind of crouch, stand up, turn away from the runner, and then try to tag. I think that the thing that makes me think that LaFleur should be gone is the fact that John Harbaugh's on the market. I don't think I'd be quite as I'd be annoyed and I'd be frustrated that was how the season ended. But it gives me so much fuel to hate the Bears, which is great. I can't stand Caleb Williams. I can't stand Ben Johnson. I despise that team and its current construction. I mean, just pure unadulterated hate. I think that maybe the most annoying thing about all of it is it makes that Ben Johnson quote from the beginning of the season come true. He came into the hiring presser. Well, I like beating LaFleur twice a year. Cool, man. I bet both of the Packers-Bears games next season will be primetime matchups. Milwaukee's third baseman charges nicely. Fires over to first in time for out number 1. Okay, so they'd say it weird. Okay, Angel Pagan. All right. The PA announcer says that very odd. Went for a bunt. An interesting decision down multiple runs here in the bottom of the third. That ball looked like it was going to be outside 4, or that pitch looked like it was going to be outside for ball 1, but couldn't get the bat back in time. It's 0-1. Here's the line and the pitch. He is going to go for the bunt yet again. He'll put it down, but that is foul. Here comes the pitch from the lefty in the dirt. That is inside for a ball. So I guess long story short would be go Seahawks and go Rams in the NFC. Bills and I guess Texans are fine. I'm all for a team that has not won or even been there before. So Houston and Houston would be good because they've never gotten there. Buffalo would be good because they've never won. That is fouled the first base line. As the closing minutes here in Pittsburgh, 17-6. First 4 games of the wild card weekend were pretty incredible. The last couple were a little dudlier, but I think you would kind of expect that. Actually, no. I mean, the Chargers should have been better, but the Patriots they got a good coach in Mike Vrabel, so. Here comes the pitch from the lefty. It is almost nailed that umpire right in the face. 3-2. That is swung on and missed. Should be out number 2. Is indeed out number 2. Okay, I was gonna say sometimes we get like a weird replay on what should be like on that final out. So last chance for the Nationals, down by 3. Sabathia readies, fires, and that's fouled away. One and one. That is well outside. Makes it 2-1. And that'll be hit to the shortstop who covers. Fires to first in time. That'll retire the side and finish up the game. 4-1 your final for Milwaukee. A funky 4 runs that they score. The Washington tried to make it a game. Cameron put out a solo home run into right field, opposite field for him. But they just didn't get enough. Milwaukee had a funky run cut down in the second. They had a run that should have been cut down but scored in the third. Sabathia is your player of the game. 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Cameron's third of the season. Sabathia improves to 3-4. Tim Hudson falls to 4-6. And that will do it from Washington. So we take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers end of month statistics. They've been an interesting team to watch throughout the month of May. A 15-11 record. They've made their season interesting in a weird NL Central. I think they probably just started a little too far behind, and they don't have the divisional matchups left to really do anything to get back in there. And there might just be too many teams in the way for them to get ahead or to figure things out as far as the wild card is concerned. We had back-to-back games here, so no scores to catch up on. We'll scroll all the way down here to the Diamondbacks and the Padres. We'll want to keep an eye on this Cardinals-Rockies series as well, as these teams are separated by 2.5 games, I believe. It's an interesting series. It's a divisional series. I think it's one of the last ones that we have for the season. And if the Rockies, who haven't had a great May, if the Rockies keep kind of sliding back, these teams have an opportunity to come up. Arizona missed an opportunity to tie everything up for them. San Diego, a game under 500. As we take a look at the batting for San Diego is top 5 in every category. And the pitching is bottom 7. Cool. Great. Oh, boy. I will flip the thumbnail, and while I do that, be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like the video, you're enjoying the content. Consider subscribing, ringing the bell, all that good stuff. It's a free and easy way to help the channel. Diamondbacks are 27-24, the Padres 25-26. We are in Petco Park for our fourth and final game of the day. Diamondbacks, the lineup looks like this. David DeJesus is in right field, followed by Chipper Jones, Chipper Jones at third, Joey Votto's at first, Jason Bay in left. Curtis Granderson, he'll be patrolling center field. Matt Wieters is behind the dish. Brian Pena is your designated hitter. Freddie Sanchez at second. Shortstop is Jamie Carroll. We did see the Diamondbacks just yesterday when they beat the Mariners, but the series is too fun to ignore. Carlos Zambrano is 5-4. With an even 5 ERA, 10 games to 27 innings pitched, 27-17-13. 27-17 is 44-13. 17 walks to 13 strikeouts is pretty bad. You throw those hits in, it looks even worse. All right, let's see if this Arizona Diamondbacks offense can be patient at the plate. Team stats mean nothing in this, though. One of the best team records is like 25th. That's true. Well, he did not take my advice of being patient. Instead, he swings on the first pitch. And he gets a single. Defender can't come up with the ball. Yeah, and so like in the Central, to exactly what you're talking about, Cleveland is 20-something or whatever, 25th or lower. In first place. Like, the number one team is Detroit, and they're under 500. Like, okay. I do think the actual tangible stats at least matter. Theoretically. The rankings, I don't think, matter in the team select screen. But, boy, have the Mariners sometimes just given up horrible home runs. Their pitching staff is a little susceptible to that. They gave up a solo home run to Joey Votto yesterday. Couldn't recover from it. A little bit of a hit and run there for the Arizona Diamondbacks as Joey Votto. We saw one of his 4 home runs yesterday in Seattle. He'll step to the plate with a runner in scoring position and 1 gone. Well executed hit and run there. Able to get the runner to second with no real contest. This lineup is being aggressive, which is a little surprising considering how many walks he has issued. But, you know, much in the same way that the stats probably don't really seem to matter at all. I don't think the game takes into account how many anything the pitchers have done. Houston has tacked on another touchdown. They have scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. 24-6 with a little under 3 minutes to go. That hit will advance the runner to third, but is out number 2. Jason Bay stepping in. Opportunity to get a lead going early here. Here's the righty, winds and gets that outside corner for a strike. Makes it 0-1. That is low. It's a 2-1 count with 2 outs. Pitcher is set and ready. Winds and fires. Gets the strike call in that outside corner again. Evens the count up at 2-2. That is past the diving third baseman. He was not going to be able to get there. That will score the first run of the ball game, 1-0. Takes him a couple outs to get him all the way over to third, and able to just keep it fair inside that third base line, and it's 1-0 Arizona. If you're looking for chaos, you're probably rooting for San Diego. Here's the wind and the pitch. That will be hit and split the gap kind of weirdly. Sometimes we just see that. It's very odd. It's odd to see a hit here and then watch the third baseman just go, No. Not even going to try for it. No, thank you. But hey, if this game isn't broken, I don't know what it is. Pitch is inside for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That misses low. Ball 2. Two on and two gone. Arizona leads by 1. They'll take a strike on the outside. Makes it 2-1. Good patient at bat here for this Diamondbacks batter. You can see kind of why this pitcher's given up so many walks, as he's trying to toy with the edge, but just doesn't have the consistent accuracy to get it in the zone. Here comes a 2-1. Just gets the knees. Makes it 2-2. And of course, as soon as I say he can't hit the edges of the zone, he flips me the bird and says, watch this. Here comes the wind, and the pitch is going to be swung on and missed. So the Diamondbacks are able to pick up 3 hits, score 1 run. It'll be up to the Padres to respond to the bottom of the first, down early. Introduce you to that lineup right now. Darn. Right now. Darn. Right now. First time. First try. Andrew McCutchen is in center field. He'll lead things off for the San Diego Padres. Ryan Sweeney's your designated hitter. David Wright at third. Justin Upton in right. Jared Saltalamacchia behind the dish. James Looney, I don't know, at first base. Bobby Abreu in left field. J.J. Hardy's the shortstop. Brendan Ryan is the second baseman. Since the PA announcer announces a bunch of different names incorrectly, but even then I don't hear it consistently the same way. It's confusing. Jeremy Bonderman is 4-6 with a 5.59 ERA, 10 games, 29.0 innings, 42, 12, and 14. Again, you look at the walks and the strikeout balance is just a little too close to even for me. And then you throw in that number of hits, 42 hits. You're talking about 54 hits and walks to just 14 strikeouts. That's plus 40 hits and walks combined. Yeesh. Diamondbacks were aggressive with their swings early in this one. We'll see if the Padres are the same way. Andrew McCutchen leading things off. It's a strike in the zone. He thought about swinging. Looked like he held it back, but it doesn't matter because it's a called strike. 0-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's going to be hit out towards left field. Left fielder in position and awaiting for it to drop into his glove. It finally does after a few adjustments here and there. And one gone quickly here for the Padres. Ryan Sweeney batting .230. No home runs, but has driven in 13 runs. That's a good number for the number 2 hitter. I think that's at least a number you're looking for, 13 RBI. Maybe like a little bit more in the home run. The batting average could probably be up a little bit. But he's probably one of the few guys getting 2 at-bats a game, most likely. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is hit out towards center field. Center fielder sees it well and makes the grab. 2 away quickly here for San Diego. Here comes the righty's pitch. David Wright puts a charge into that one. Is the ballpark going to hold it? Yes, it will. Caught out there by, I believe, Granderson out there in center field. He has a good swing, but nothing comes of it. Pena, Sanchez, and Carroll, the 7-8-9 hitters, coming up for the Diamondbacks, who lead 1-0. Pena has a .217 average. 5 RBI. The righty winds and fires, gets that outside edge for a strike. Are these 9-inning games? No, they are 3-inning games. It's a 3-inning game, 82-game season. Here's the pitch. Stays upstairs for a ball. One and two. Here comes the pitch. It is inside. Gets the swing and the miss. So set down on strikes to lead off the 2nd inning. That is right on the edge there. Swing timing is perfect on a 93-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Freddie Sanchez batting .387, 4 home runs, 13 RBI. No stolen bases. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low for a ball. That is low for a ball again. Pitcher nods his head in approval. Readies it and fires it. Gets the strike call at the knees. It's 2-1 now. He looks like he has a very quick pitching animation. Like that wind-up just seems like it's almost like on fast forward. It's interesting considering how long some of the wind-ups can be. Jamie Carroll, 241 average on the season. One out. That is going to split the infielders and get into left field. They'll play station to station, and they put 2 on. So the Diamondbacks still staying aggressive with their swings. Jesus came around to score. He had a single. Stole second or got put in motion on a hit and run. Either way, got to second and then able to get to third. Scored with 2 outs. They'll take a pitch inside to make it 1-0. Looking to add to the lead a little bit here in the top half of the 2nd inning. Arizona's had consistent presence on the base paths. And they are going to leave that sliding. Oh, that's one around the horn, not in time. He is safe as he hustles his buns up the first base line. It's a nice sliding stop by the shortstop. And a pretty quick relay around, but just too much speed going up that first base line. Chipper Jones is 0 for 1 with a runner and runners on the corners. Opportunity to double this lead. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's way upstairs for a ball. Pitcher is ready. Wind. That's outside. Good take there by Jones. And an advantageous 2-0 count. That is inside. Yanks it foul. For strike one. 2-1. Is it officially over? It is indeed. Wow, they scored even more points. Houston really... Oh, gosh. Really put the beat down on the Steelers. 30-6 your final. Houston scores 23 points in the final frame, including an interception return for a touchdown. Though the extra point was missed. 30-6 your final. That'll do it for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hey, thank God they won that game where the Baltimore Ravens kicker missed that game-winning field goal so they could get blown out by Houston. They will put the runner in motion. Does not matter as that is swung on and missed. It'll retire the side. San Diego so far surviving the 5-hit performance from the Arizona Diamondbacks offense. Speaking of Arizona Diamondbacks, Upton, Saltalamacchia, and Loney coming up. Justin Upton. His three stolen bases are second on the Diamondbacks, even though he's playing for the Padres. Arizona taking a 1-0 lead at the moment. I mean, if it holds, it'd be a 1-0 lead into the top of the third. You're really going to feel like you missed a lot of opportunities because they have had such consistency with runners on the base paths, but they've only been able to cash that in for one run. That's rolled foul. Maybe a peek into why this team is right around 500 and wasn't able to take advantage of the big series against Colorado. That is swung on and missed. Upton set down on strikes. It'll be one gone. That pitch is on the white of the left-handed batter's box and still got him to go. Jared Saltalamacchia, 20 RBI. It's a nice looking number, 7 home runs. Jammed him inside, popped up to center field. Center fielder comes in, makes the routine grab, and that will be out number 2. James Loney, he's batting over 300 at 307. 1 home run, 9 RBI on the season. Could use a good swing here to try and keep this lineup moving. Diamondbacks have been working their way through it relatively easy. It's a good take. It was going to be a jam shot. Probably not going to do a whole lot with it. It's 0-1. Here comes the pitch from the right-hander. It's fouled away.
That ball's foul.
0-2. Fouled away. And swung on and missed, so that will retire the San Diego Padres side quickly. It'll stay 1-0. Zeros across the board for the Padres. Votto, Bay, and Granderson going to look to add on a little bit here in the top half of the third. Votto's 0 for 1. His average looks really good at 346. And those, was that RBI 16 RBIs, I want to say? Yeah, it looks like 16. Not bad at all. There is the pitch. It is on the outside for a strike. Just gets that outside. He'll shake his head yes. Readies and fires. It'll be ground to the third baseman, who fires strongly across the diamond. There's out number 1 quickly. Both teams playing like, hey, we really have dinner reservations. We have places to be. Here's the wind and the pitch. Outside. Ball 1. That is... What? Are you sure about that one? The 1-0 pitch. That looked low to me. Umpire calls it a strike and makes it 1-1. Thought about swinging, holds it back on a pitch that's pretty far outside the zone. Two and 1. That is just foul. That is a big break for the Padres. And the Diamondbacks just couldn't keep it in the field of play. It needed to go down just a little bit, and Bay is going to get called out on a high strike. The zone got a little funky in that one, if I do say so myself. Both high and low. Couple of funky calls there. So both teams have been aggressive swinging of the bat, and the umpire also being aggressive with the strike calls. Everybody has places to be that is not this game right now. 1-0. That is hit well out to center field. The center fielder chasing. It is over his head. Went for that kind of little lunge animation. He's going for a triple. Is it a good decision? It is. That throw was a little bit high from the relay. If it's a little more of a frozen rope, a little zippier, doesn't have quite so much air under it, might have been able to get him. It's interesting how aggressive Arizona has been in this game. Now, not only swinging the bat, but in that case, the base paths as well. Could set them up for a huge second run here. Just 90 feet away from doubling this lead. Does not get that outside corner. That is ball 1. Here comes the pitch. It is going to be down in left field. That will score a run. It'll be a 2-out RBI single to double the lead. 2-0 now, Arizona. This was my question going into this third inning, right? The Padres have been able to survive a bunch of hits and a lot of traffic on the base paths through the first couple innings. They did give up 1 run in the first. I get that. But the Diamondbacks had 5 hits through the second inning. Could they do it one more time? That's when the lineup flips over. You start getting those second looks at him. They have not been able to survive. They got close, though. 2 outs. Could have tried to strand the runner on third. That pitch so bad it's good, and I think it kind of fooled the hitter a little bit. The foul ball makes it 0-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is rolled to the first baseman. He'll step on the bag for out number 3. That'll retire the side, but not before the Diamondbacks pick up 1 more run and a couple more hits. Abreu, Hardy, and Ryan looking to do something for San Diego Padres that is looking at goose eggs in each of the columns, though one of those goose eggs is good. Bobby Abreu, batting .258. 2 home runs, 14 RBI. on the season. He'll look to get things going here in a positive manner to start out the bottom of the third. Here's the righty. Fires that inside for a strike. Here's the line and the pitch. It is foul at the third base line. Clips into the stands. Hopefully everybody's okay. Are all the digital fans, are they all right? 0-2 now. That is right back toward that same area. It's a foul ball, so we'll do with the 0-2 again. That one sky high in front of the home plate. Catcher steps out from behind the dish, makes the grab, and that is one gone. J.J. Hardy, .355 average with a couple home runs, 9 RBI. See if he can get something going with one out. That one stays upstairs for a ball, 1-0. Swung on and missed for a strike. One and one with one out. Here comes the righty. That'll be rolled to the second baseman. Fields it cleanly. Over to first in time for out number 2. So it comes down to Brendan Ryan. He needs a hit here, a hit or a walk, a hit by pitch. Something to keep this game going. San Diego has not had a base runner all game long. It comes down to the Seattle Mariner foul. Boy, the Padres hitters really love that section of fans. Third time we've seen that in this inning. The foul ball makes it 0-1. Thought about going for the bunt, but that pitch kind of sails and flows outside. 1-1. That is rolled over. The shortstop is able to get there, but the throw is not in time. Brendan Ryan keeps this game alive. It'll be up to Andrew McCutchen to keep things going. He's 0 for 1, batting .284 on the season. It was a nice stop by the defense, but that animation is so long, and Ryan had just enough speed to get up the first base line, so a good defensive effort, but just comes up short of holding him hitless. That pitch was low to make it 1-0. They'll check on the runner. He is safe. As they have been every time except for one. Here comes the 1-0. That'll be rolled over to the second baseman. He'll field it cleanly, and that will do it. 2-0 your final here. The Diamondbacks take care of the Padres. Put a little bit of distance between them and those Padres. And we'll see what happens if the Cardinals win and can help the Diamondbacks out, or if the Diamondbacks just need to try and keep pace with the Rockies and take advantage of some stumbles. Of course, you go back and look and see that the Diamondbacks were not able to take advantage of a 4-game set against the Rockies to try and tie up that division. Jeremy Bonderman, player of the game. 3 innings, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts on the day. He improves to 5-6. Carlos Zambrano drops to 5-5. No home runs, no saves in today's game. That will do it. Here's your Arizona Diamondbacks into the month statistics 16-9. That is impressive. A 4.73 ERA. 4 stolen bases, 1 save, 53 strikeouts, 28 walks. They gave up 85 hits while getting 107 hits. They only had 6 home runs, though. 39 RBI. Okay, so that is game number 4. We will sim to the date. Okay, the Mariners win 2-0. All right, where were we? We were here. The Pirates beat the Mets 4-1. Cubs over the Dodgers 2-1. The Rockies, the Rockies fall. The Cardinals beat the Rockies 2-0. That's good news for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Rockies just 4 games over 500 now. I think they had a really rough month of May. Angels over the Red Sox 2-1. Guardians beat the Athletics 2-1. Diamondbacks 2-0 winners. That puts them at 28-24. We have a tie in the National League West, where the Rockies go. 28-24. Diamondbacks down 28-24 as well. Okay, that's exciting. Twins over the Mariners by a score of 2-0. They beat Felix Hernandez, King Felix. We will have a bunch of games for you tomorrow. That Seattle series, by the way, is 4 games in Minnesota. Interesting. I think it's the only 4-game set. I was looking around for it yesterday, but seems like that was the only 4-game set. We will save and go ahead and say our goodbyes. Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging out. Again, if you're new, welcome in. Thanks for hanging out. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like more. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time, here on youtube.com/Shaunosaurus Rex. 4 more games of baseball inside of a 2011 PlayStation 2 game. And boy, is it showing its age, because it's not great. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you're lurking, if you're chatting, whatever you're doing, as long as you're being cool, I appreciate it. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. We will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. for more baseball. See you later. Have a great night, everybody. Save complete. Goodbye.